Hi, this is Mark from Altcoin Buzz. Today we'll take a quick look as we go into the weekend on Bitcoin to see what we might be looking at. We'll also take a look at a couple of the altcoins that you guys asked about. Wish we could get to all of them, but unfortunately I don't have that much time today. But please make your comments below on the altcoins that you'd like us to look at, and I'll see what I can do about getting around to those. So on the Bitcoin USD one-day chart, we have a nice little trend line starting, and the only thing about this that we've talked about before that makes me concerned is this ascending pennant as we come out of a downtrend. The potential to break down to the downside of that, of the continuation of the trend, is what we'd be looking at most of the time in this situation. You can see it happen here and then broke down, continuing the trend here, broke down, continuing this trend, and here, and so on. So the question came up, when is this not an ascending flag and potential trend up? Well, an excellent question. Where that would be negated is if we had a close above the previous resistance area and could settle on top of that as a support line. So we need to break the $6,800 and then have a close above there for this to really start to be negated. And if we can settle on support there, then the next area that we want to look at is to see if we can break this $7,300 range and settle on support in that area. The positive to both of those scenarios is if we can start this trend line back up. We've been talking about this, and everybody has, and TA has been talking about this ascending triangle. But look at how close we get to breaking out of that if we can rest above the $7,300 here. And if we could find that as support, or rather clear it by breaking above this $8,500, well then a whole lot has changed on this chart. I wanted to give you an idea of what happens on the weekends because the weekends are a different animal. We have largely bots trading or algorithmic trading happening on lower volume that you can see as we come into the weekends. The volume starts to dry up a little bit. But largely on the weekends, we continue with the prior trend that we came into. So one of the things that we do want to watch for is back in June 24th, you can see we had that big wick that tested into a prior swing low. And so one of the things we should be conscious of and be looking for is, do we get a large wick testing into our prior support level at that $6,100 over the weekend? It's something to be conscious of. I wouldn't react to it because I'd want to see where that candle closes, not just where the wick dips into, because that could just be trying to find some liquidity in the market or a strong reaction to some kind of algorithm, but something to be looking for. Could we see ourselves getting above the $6,800 area over the weekend? Absolutely. We could potentially see that happen. And then if we can settle in on there, then we're going to be looking up at this $7,300 to see if we can break through that resistance. So if we can break above that $6,800, that'll put us on a resting exponential moving average on the 100-day moving. And if we can get above 76, 78, then we're sitting above the 200-day. All very positive for Bitcoin if those things can happen. So could this be a little bit of our accumulation phase that we would be looking for in a spring and have that dip back down real quick to shake some people out and bounce back off? Again, it could still be that. If you're not sure what a spring is, take a look at a couple videos back and I go into that into some more detail. Okay, I thought we'd take a look at VeChain real quick. A lot of people have been asking about it. A lot of our writers have been talking about it, how it was making this big swing up. This is the one-day chart. What do you want me to say about this chart? It's short. Let's break it down into some 4-hour chunks. Your high resistance sitting here at 1.5 cents. You can see this dip down. That is not uncommon as we have a new coin come out. Profits are being taken and it establishes some kind of a low. So our resistance is clear at that 1.5 cents. And what looks like to be a very nice forming ascending triangle pattern here, which on an uptrend would mean that the potential for us to break to the upside is greater than to the downside. So not much history there to tell us where it could go from here, but if you wanted to give yourself some kind of price target, you'd be taking the move from the bottom of the flagpole up to here, which is an 89% move, and then extend that to the breakout. So if we break out to the top, be looking for somewhere around 2.5 cents. Okay, another one that you guys want to take a look at was Basic Attention. It looks like we've got some good support set up here at 18.5 cents. We've got kind of this lower range. We'll just pull it in here down to 17 cents of that support. I pulled in the regular candles here to get a little bit of an idea of what might be happening in here. And this is a nice formation. As we come into a downtrend like this and we get this kind of symmetrical triangle, the potential is for this to break out to the upside. So what are you looking at past that? Because if that's the way that this goes, clear resistance at 23 cents to call it 25 cents And if we look at where the price volume lines up on this chart in the recent weeks, you can do a fixed range on the volume price analysis, which is lining up the volume by price, and it's just taking into account these candles from here to here, this range, versus everything that we have on the chart. And so really, it looks like if you break the 22-cent range, there's not a whole, this does act as a little bit of resistance here, but once you break that 22, 23-cent area, you have a pretty clear ride up and a very good opportunity to break that previous resistance in the 24.25 until you get up to about the 30-cent level. So that's basic attention. It's looking like a pretty strong chart. So that'll wrap it up for today. Hopefully this helps you get started on the weekend. Don't forget to leave the coins that you want us to review when we have time below. Also hit that subscribe, like button, and the alert button, that bell, so you know when the videos pop up. Visit us on altcoinbuzz.io, where you're going to find all kinds of information that comes throughout the day from our great writers. We have some podcasts as well with some great interviews, and you can link to all of our social media. Until next time, may all your trades be good ones.